was actually a really nice countdown. I like the music.
I know, and they changed it, and they didn't tell me. It just
I
did
didn't
that
even
one
know
day.
they changed it. So
Me
that's
either. I
really
didn't
nice.
until I was in the middle of it a couple of days ago. Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
cool.
hello everyone, and welcome to my dear sister and friend Val from Dragonfly Crystals and Next Level Channeling. I'm so happy to be back with you, Val. Thank you.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love you. You know, you're my
I love
sister.
working with you too. And we were just talking behind the scenes because both of us are rock hounds. And there's a new app you can get on Google, or if you have I guess it's probably the same thing if you.
It's on iTunes as well.
iTunes,
on Apple iTunes. Yeah.
On Apple, yeah. So yeah, you can you can take it with you to the rock store and make sure that it's a real rock. Like this one isn't. They told me it was something and it's not. It's okay because it's like a worry stone. So
it's like a worry stone, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, the color of something is really it's important, not important, but it doesn't matter what the item is, whether it's man-made or whatnot, the color is going to be significant for bringing its certain energy in. Just like if you had a red stapler, I'm ready for action. We're all ready. Okay.
Oh, I thought you were channeling Milton from Office Space. Did you ever see that movie? You've never seen?
No.
Oh, you must watch. Oh my God.
Oh, it's the stapler, cool. And he had to, he took the stapler home.
Someone has taken my stapler.
Yeah, I did see that. And I just have to say, color is very important. True. So it doesn't matter whether your item is actually this or that or the other thing.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, awesome. So Val and I are this is the beginning stages of us having hopefully a bi-weekly, not twice a week, but a bi-monthly show. And when I am hosting, I ask Val the questions, and when she hosts, she'll ask me the questions. And what we're starting off is the best color for classrooms, how about blue, light blue, like, isn't it? Or you don't want yellow, right?
Oh, I don't know. Yellow is intellect.
It is, but well, I guess pale yellow would be okay, but you don't want bright yellow because
bright yellow is for the kooky people. Oh, that would be us anyway.
It's not kooky, but it's like it's too overstimulating. So you get
overstimulating. Yeah. That would be. I don't know. I guess it depends on what you're trying to do in that classroom. If you want to calm everyone down, blue would be very tranquil.
Depends on the age of the
and it does.
So anyway, getting back to this, some of you are saying, I saw you, Flower Beauty. I will say hi to everybody in a few minutes. Flower Beauty, what is the Akashic Records? And so I'm going to let Val explain that, if you wouldn't mind, Val. She's the teacher of this type of thing. Yeah.
So the Akashic field, it's the field of infinite possibility. It resides, it's actually everywhere. It's in your very DNA. It's in the cells of your body. Because if you've ever heard the saying, the microcosm, the macrocosm is contained within the microcosm.
Mm-hmm.
If you took a cell of your body, a skin tissue, you can grow a whole human being out of it.
Pretty much, yeah.
In that way. Think of it like that. And maybe not right now in today's technology, but you can literally clone. So think of it that way. So the whole of everything is contained in every cell of our bodies, in everything. So the Akashic field is everywhere, in everything. So how can psychics read? How can people intuit something from someone? Mm-hmm. They are reading the records or intuit something that's coming in the future. They're reading the records. So if you just focus on one particular place, just pick a place and you focus, you're going to connect. If you're going to connect with the records, you need to pick some place to focus that attention and awareness. And we always pick the crown, the top of the head.
At the top.
And so what is the field? Every single thing that's ever occurred.
Yeah.
Every single thing. And what does that mean? That means past, present, and future, because there's no linear time. There is no linear time. So everything is recorded that ever happened, all in this now moment. Boom.
Right.
So you can access it.
You can.
And that wisdom and information contains no emotion. It is just the recorded information stated as such. But from that, you can learn why a certain thing happened in this lifetime, as we think in linear time to understand why are you always having this same pattern that repeats. And you can go into the records and find out what the root lifetime is, and you can clear that up just by hearing about it. It is like the cloud.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Awesome. Yeah. It's the cloud. So
it's the cloud.
Yeah.
So in that, of course, she can read. She would read into some, or I would read, because I've taken her class, into somebody's past life stuff. And that's what most people ask the Akashic Records about. That you can also ask about future lives. You can ask about now.
Galactic lives. They'll tell you usually. And sometimes it's not going to be a past life. Sometimes they will channel through the information that the person that my sitter wants to know or needs to know for this lifetime, and it's not related to a past lifetime. They just go right to this lifetime and what it's about. So, a lot of things, you can do a lot of things in the records that I haven't even tapped into yet. So
right. But we're working on it. So you may not be able to erase everything, Angela, but you may be able to heal yourself.
I always think of it in terms of dissolving the story, because you are not the story. Right. The story is just this holographic universe we set up where everyone is a player on our stage. Well, literally, it is our consciousness projecting all this, and we're learning from it. So that story sometimes creates trauma inside of us that sticks. For some reason. That's what happens. And it's funny, when you switch bodies or you come in lifetime after lifetime, you carry that in your part of your soul energy. So it does continue. Unlike some people who say it doesn't, it does. And you just go in and you work with the Akashic Record Masters in a reading, and you just dissolve the story, retain the wisdom that you receive from that. And what happens is you're freed up from that situation, and your consciousness is elevated, and you don't go back to that old consciousness. You can't. You're new, you're different. And that's just what happens. This
is a great question, JJ. Have you ever experienced the records coming through as the unexplainable language, symbols, frequency?
Yes. I have woken up. In fact, when I started reading the records, I woke up and pages of symbols, eyes open or closed, they just be.
Oh, wow.
And that's how you know you got the record.
Download.
It's just, even with your eyes open, you see it. It's flashing, and it's not just one page, because I flipped the page, and it's depth, it's deep. So you're having a depth and all these pages. So I can't even describe it, but you definitely have a whole bunch of symbols involved in the Akashic Records. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And especially if it's a galactic connection, no doubt about that. Totally.
Well, I know you probably know JJ does do light language. So I'm assuming that's the sound of some of the.
Let me just say, the Akashic Records masters say the light language is the purest form of communication. When something is, that's why they that's why so many people are finally getting their light language to communicate in that way, because it is a pure vibration of information. Because when something goes through our conscious mind, it tends to distort the information because we try and box something in. This is what this means. Well, it's really just an energetic thing that lets us grow and lets us expand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
there is no personality. You're right, Anya. So I just want you to know that Val does do Akashic Records classes, probably every quarter, I would say, on Zoom. And you will be reading the records before the end of that time. And I want to also say that she's doing a channeling class. When is that, starting this week, or?
That's the 23rd, I believe.
23rd?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
All right.
so.
And then in April, she and I will be doing our medium class again.
Yes.
And so, yeah. And honestly, it's great to get snippets here if you're getting an Akashic reading. But the best Akashic Records readings, of course, are the ones that are done through personal readings. And Val does do that. So let's get to where we need to be, because I have a list of questions I want to ask. And the reason I want to do this is because although all of you want to make sure that you get your questions answered, I'm not quite sure we can do that today because I have these others, but we're going to be here every other week. So it may change up the way we do them. But we wanted to try something different today. So hi, Carl and Donna, and hello, Leah Salva. Lottie's here, and Linda Kennedy, and Flower Beauty, Denise Fletcher, Angela, Wiki, JJ, as you saw it, Christine, and who else is here? Book is here. Hi, Book. And Angela, and Anya, and Sonia. Let's see. I'm not trying to miss anybody, but I'm trying to go. Kim B is here. And JJ said her older kiddo painted their room bright yellow, but they're autistic. So see, there you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Hi, Willow. Sue Toffee, Roseanne.
I'm going to be honest with you. My house is a goldish yellow inside. All my walls are like a goldish yellow. So
wow. Well, it really depends on. I'll tell you about red though, and I think you'll agree with me. Lulu, it's nice to see you. Jen Bowles. Yes, but that's a nice light color. It's not.
There's
a story called The Yellow Wallpaper. And it's about how a woman has yellow wallpaper and she's locked in a room and she goes crazy. That's why I thought.
Well, they do. Yeah, there is something to be said about that, to be sure. Yeah,
that's true. Anyway, if I missed you, I didn't mean to. Thank you for being here, everybody, because we want to get to some of the questions. I will tell you about red, though. If you go into an Italian restaurant, you'll always see red plates, red motif, red. And they always play music because they want you to eat and get the hell out of there so somebody else can come in.
Stimulating. Yeah.
It's all stimulating. Yeah. So, yeah. You have that in your kitchen garden, Jeannie? That's cool. Yeah, I mean, everybody's different. So that's awesome.
For sure.
All right. So Val, I don't know how Val keeps her Akashic Records open for herself. And so we don't need to go into the prayers and so on. We said a prayer before we came in. Yeah. So I'm just gonna go to some of these questions, and some of these questions they're all for everybody, and just questions that I had, and perhaps you do too. If you can think of any, also let me know so we can do that next week, where I'll be reading and Val will be asking. Okay. Yeah. All right. So the first question that I had is. Are we all in what Dolores Cannon calls the 3 waves of volunteers? And what wave are we in?
Well, that's interesting. They're saying, oddly enough, and I don't know why, They're calling us the third wave, because when you read the books and you hear about all of this, you think you're in the first wave. So let me just ask them to channel through what they want to say about the three waves. Because they're saying it started in the harmonic convergence, like 1987.
Yeah.
And so that was the first wave, the initial starting point of all of this energy. It's been building for years, and groups have come on to create an awareness, to set the foundation. Well, every time it is amped up. And at the second level, that was in like 2011 or 2012 or around then. And then the third level. So it isn't your age, it is your level of and levels are deceiving, because we're all one and we're all the same.
Right.
We're all, so it is your level of drive or goals that you signed up for to come in, to get out there and teach, to be the larger picture teacher or presence in the world. And this is what is needed right now. And that's why they're calling it the third wave. People stepping up and stepping into these teacher. We're always taught while we're the teacher, so never get a big head over it. We're all
the teacher and all the student. Yeah.
It's more, I think of it this way. It's like friends getting together and you're advancing your awareness, your levels of awareness. It isn't somebody who is a guru. You are your own guru. You are your own teacher. You and your soul, which is what we're here to embody. And that third wave is embodying their soul energy, moving out into the world with consciously. Which is the big thing that is different, that kind of separates all the rest who laid a foundation for us. We are also laying a foundation, because every wave laid a foundation down at a different level. And we are the ones who are getting out there and doing it. If you feel propelled and you feel like, I should be doing something, it's probably your soul calling you to. So pay attention to any classes that come in front of you, anything that you just need to remember. So you take that class and you go, oh, I can do this. Yeah, you always could.
Yeah.
And so it's just
a little push.
Giving you a little push. So that's what they're saying about the waves, if that makes sense. So everyone who comes in those waves comes in with their job skills. They come in with their roles. Some do grid work. Some do the light language. Some do a multitude of all the different things, activating people's DNA, which light language does too, activating things within people, triggering. This is raising the vibration of the planet worldwide, and these things are all happening. Many, many more types of jobs that are out there.
That's awesome. And I just got, that it makes a lot of sense, JJ, what you do, because even if we can't understand what Tuda is saying, it doesn't matter, because we're getting the light language.
The light language is the pure communication,
the
pure information, without tainted human boxing of it.
Putting it in
actually breaks it down to be less impactful. So just letting it flow through you when you're listening to light language or watching someone, you're letting it flow in, and that's the best thing.
That's awesome. I really love that verification that this is not due to when you were born, because I really think that that's what I kind of was always thinking, and it isn't. So we are the ones we have been waiting for.
We are. We are the ones.
We are. Hi, Peace Mama. And Lauren says, I'm thrilled to know we're in the third wave. I'm taking that to mean that we're getting into the final stretch of the old.
Yes, this is what's happening now. The old paradigm has dissolved. It's hanging on by a thread right now. It is something that I've been talking about on a lot of shows, The 3D paradigm, the old story, we are not the story. You're your divine source being projecting down into your avatar. Yeah. The old story, the old paradigm is dissolving. And so what does that mean? It means your consciousness won't be going to that 3D story. You'll stay conscious. You'll stay in the now moment, creating whatever it is that you're here to do, which is unique to you, and a gift. Everyone is here and is precious, giving what they have to give. Yeah.
That's cool. So last night, I didn't have this as a question, but last night I watched this short video that actually was made in 2022. It was oceanographers, and they were down below the Hawaiian Islands area. And they started seeing some kind of rocks. They wanted to know what it was, probably from the volcanoes, I'm guessing. But they were collecting it with this little hand, you know. And they come to this turn and go to this part of the ocean floor, and there's a yellow brick road.
It's Lemuria.
Well, they thought it was the pathway to Atlantis, and I thought, no, that has to be Lemuria.
Anywhere around the Hawaiian Islands.
Yeah, it's moved.
Right? Folks, Lemuria was huge. Okay. It wasn't some small island somewhere. Right. It was big. Right.
It was big. But I thought to myself, wow. And of course that clicked into the higher consciousness of Baum, B-A-U-M, who wrote The Wizard of Oz.
Yes, absolutely. Wow. There you go.
He tapped into the Akash.
And I mean, The Wizard of Oz is full of those mystical things. So I think they do tap in and channel a lot of that information. Yeah.
I was thrilled to see that. I don't know how I found it. It just, and it was like, okay, thank you. You just needed me to find that tonight.
I did just hear again that a lot of people are discovering Atlantis. Well, Lemuria was all over the place. I mean, it was very big. It was bigger than we think it was. And we are Lemurians. I mean, all of us pretty much carry that energy, and we're impacted in even that Atlantean energy. We are here now carrying through with what we didn't before.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, it's all happening now, so it's hard to describe. Yeah.
Everything happens. So here's a question for you, Akashic Records Masters. How many timelines are we privy to in this lifetime?
All timelines exist now. All timelines that can ever be perceived, that have ever been, exist and can be tapped into. It is your consciousness level that allows that access. What it is you hold in your heart to be your belief of the next now moment, that is where you will be. That's where you will find yourself. That's where you will be. So it is your consciousness that directs your timeline, directs you to a timeline. So if you want to jump timelines into any timeline, you would be consciously raising your vibration to live that vibration. If you live that vibration, a match draws you to that timeline, and you are in that timeline by resonating with it.
So really, essentially, it's in the mind. It's the mind that changes the timeline.
It's actually, here's the thing. It's not the mind. Your heart, this is the thing, heart and mind coherence.
Yeah.
The mind is not your consciousness. Your soul is your consciousness. Right. Your consciousness, you can say it radiates from your heart. So your ego mind and your mind is necessary for this earth school. Bring it down and connect it to your heart every day, but with your emotions, and feel that. So your emotions through your heart, your consciousness is your awareness, your observer mode. That is your consciousness, not your mind. So your mind makes things mean things. And it kind of actually isn't the best.
It isn't, is it? Yeah, it can be deceived, obviously.
You're in. The more you're up in your mind, it can distort things. So you kind of connect it to your heart, and you see things through your heart, your emotion, and that vibrational level. That's why the purest thing is your emotions, your connection to divine source through that. So I always call the heart the gateway to everything. So going back into the Akashic Record Masters, jumping timelines is simply your resonant frequency. So what you vibrate at, you will pull in that timeline. There's a timeline for everything. Any eventuality that you can imagine exists. It already exists. You're just jumping timelines to get there without even it's effortless. It's effortless.
Definitely.
But when a mass consciousness is all together thinking one thing, boom, you all move. So
right. So once that, it's like a paradigm shift. You have to get up to this certain point, and then things change.
Yes, exactly.
That's awesome.
But you can
wonder
jump.
Why it could be why we have so many ADHD issues, because there's so many timelines. It's hard to know where to. I think it's an information overload that we live in anyway. That's really difficult for us to.
If you imagine time as a circle, is a spiral. You just, by your awareness, you're jumping all over the place in different timelines constantly. You don't really realize you are. And so, you can have that feeling of discombobulated thought, getting confused over things and whatnot. But also, this is why being grounded and meditating in whatever way you do, and connecting to the earth and connecting to source energy that you are, it like feeds you like a battery and keeps you grounded and centered. It is energetically.
It pulls in the energy. Yes.
It pulls it in, and it also, you are that. Imagine yourself as a big ball of light, a huge ball of light. Picture yourself throughout the day that way. Picture yourself as that light. Be it. And literally, that will shift your energy.
It's the old, what as you think you live, or as you think so it is.
As you think, so shall it be. You
That's
get to be right. You get to be right.
I have $6 million in my checking account.
That's right.
It is. Yeah.
You get to be right.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Denise, yes, if we have a mind that remembers almost everything. I remember all the past. I can remember everything that happened in high school, and I don't know how that serves me, but it's time to move on. So there you go.
It's a story, and you got to let go of the old. We all let go of that old concept of who we are, because if you're in that soul energy, that consciousness, that observer, you've got to let go of a whole bunch of baggage from what is not the eternal now that you're in right now, because you will be freed up to embody that soul energy in a much larger way. Let's say it like that, because your energy is not going back to the past or toward the future. That's why they always tell you in Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, your energy here in this one moment is the most powerful place to manifest everything that you want to bring in.
He's fabulous. If you haven't read anything by Eckhart Tolle, he's done Stillness Speaks, The Power of Now. He's done several. Very interesting man. All right, so let's move into this crazy question. Well, maybe not. What is the essence of our original face?
The essence of our original face, FACE?
Yeah, like who were we before we were who we, and I don't mean like in past lives, but there has to be isn't there a creation point? And I'm wondering if that creation point is just light and energy.
all it is light and energy. But let me go in and ask the Akashic Record Masters for their description of that creation point. And they're saying at the creation point, the I am, the thought that dwells in the light, wanted to experience itself in so many different ways. And in order to do that, it created sparks of itself, call it like that, little
like divine sparks. We're all divine sparks.
And in doing so, created the realms of heaven, created the realms to watch over its sparks, to guide us in that way. But in essence, we're all that is. The one, all that is. We are, and everything, and even inanimate objects, anything with the consciousness, and even things you don't think have consciousness. We are all that.
Even rocks and trees, and trees,
everything. So everything is divine source energy. That is our true nature. That is truly who we are. But we are individuated sparks of God at this time. We form monads, which are groups of souls. And then we come down and we have soul groups from the monad. And from that soul group, we come in to have these connections, whether it's galactically or right here on Earth, we are experiencing these collective soul group energies where we play together. But at the same time, we created the sparks, decided to create this Earth School. So there would be faster evolution, because on the other side, there is no you're just beautiful divine source energy. So here now you get the dialectic, you get everything, yin yang, right, wrong, good, bad, shadow, light. It's all divine source. But we get to play in that and understand what that feels like. And then you evolve your soul so much more, and divine source as a collective whole. And we are always evolving and moving. And as we evolve and move and grow, so does the whole entire multiverse. And beyond that, the multiverses of the multiverses. And
so on and so on.
And so on and so on. And I know this is going to blow people's minds, but all that is, there are even bigger all that is, if you can say.
Yes. Oh, yes. I agree with that.
Yeah. We have a perception of this. This is our all that is.
Little tiny.
There are many creator God kind of energies, because it's a system that is ongoing and it is for eternity. So of course it's a progression, and we're little creator gods in training, if you will.
I love that. Yeah. And yes, there was recently a picture that was put out that was two galaxies colliding together. And I don't mean like, but it was so cool, because there's your multiverse again. And we don't have any idea how huge that is.
We have no idea.
We have no idea.
I don't think if we actually were explained what the whole picture was about, we'd be like, huh?
I know. Incomprehensible, I believe. That's why
it would make us feel so insignificant in that standpoint, that we'd be like, we are tiny little crumbs. And so not to know is probably better at this stage, because we are at this stage of evolution.
Right. So. Everybody's mind here is being blown. But honestly, your Akashic Records Masters are telling us so many wonderful things. And I'm so happy that we're all here today. So here's a question for the Akashic Records Masters. What was the purpose, or the lifetime even, that brought these community members, most of us we had to have something in common that brought us all into this community. Any ideas?
Let me ask Akashic.
Okay. Yep.
They're telling me that we are all We have an aspect of ourselves that are Pleiadian. And it's funny they should say this, but they're telling me that the Pleiadians were Lemurian, and that was what we were as we came in and created this situation in Lemuria. And in doing so, we have come together after what happened in Lemuria. We have now come together to create the shift. And in this community, the beautiful people in this community are drawn to it in order to create this foundational light for this shift. And this is to propel us into the fifth dimensional frequencies that the Pleiadians came in at the time. And through generations and generations of that time, the generations started to fall down into the 3D vibration. And they could not, no matter what they did, teaching them how to work with crystals and all this, they couldn't. It just became less high frequency. So it was hard for them at the time.
Sure.
But this was eons ago. So this doesn't happen anymore. But this was eons ago. It's the story of their creational cycle. And for the Pleiadian Lemurian connection now, everyone in this community has that vibrational quality. Is it just that? No, they are galactically connected to many different beings of light, whether it's Arcturian or Lyran or, doesn't matter. It is just an aspect of you and flavor of you, a template of you. Everything is a template that when you channel someone, you're channeling that aspect. It's all you. It's all that is. So, yeah. So
talk about blowing your mind.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah. So many have resonated with the idea of Lemurian that jumped into their minds as well. So what that is, you guys, is see how you can tap into your Akashic records and your own consciousness and intuition just by being motivated to know that you can do that.
You can all do it. You are all born with every gift. Every gift. You've been doing it. You just didn't call it that. You didn't know.
Right.
So when you consciously sit down to connect, boom, you connect. It just happens. You can't not in this energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so high frequency coming in. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Can you give us an idea, Akashic Records Masters, how many star beings are here on the earth?
Essentially everyone.
Well,
everyone.
Okay. Yeah.
Essentially everyone who is here is a star being. Are there beings who are
visiting,
extraterrestrial and visiting? Yes, there are. The percentage is not as high as you would think it is, but there are hybrids living among you, a very small amount. And this is to incorporate into society in order to bring about substantial changes in consciousness. This has been going on for a while. So just know that you have been these other ET races. You have been them. You've lived those lifetimes, and many of you are carrying aspects of that. And you have galactic counterparts right now as you are embodying this vessel. You as a soul may inhabit and send your soul fragments down and up wherever they are. So you're embodying many different lifetimes now. So this is happening all at one time. And so, yes, you can tap into those lifetimes. You can tap into those, your galactic counterparts.
That's awesome.
Yes.
While you're there, Akashic Records Masters, is the human called Elon a reptilian visitor?
That is to say that we are all reptilians. That is to say that we've all been Anunnaki. That is to say that we are separate from one another. No, we have been all things. Okay. We are all things. And therefore, the highest form of awareness is to say, oh, look at what I'm doing over there.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't look at the man behind the curtain. He is not doing anything. Yeah. Okay. I get you.
It's just that you have to understand the story that has been created by mass consciousness.
Absolutely.
The story is there for your evolution. And therefore, would you like to be in the drama of the story, or do you want to be in the observation in your soul?
I don't want to even observe, but that's okay. Thank you, Akashic Records Masters. But it's, I made the choice to come here like everybody else did. So we have to do what we have to do. So we do. Yeah. This is a great question from Sally. I've been hearing about the divine template, that we can align ourselves before trauma, disease, injury, and thereby heal ourselves. Can you comment?
Yes. And in fact, this is so, because as, for example, the earth is having new crystal grids inserted and always activated through Archangel Metatron and many other beings of light who have come, and all those who are on earth doing grid work. All of this vibrational energy is very large, and it portends the evolution of the human vessel as being able to connect to the original divine blueprint, the original template with upgrades. Now, as you hook into this crystalline grid, you are activating within you that soul memory of your original blueprint. It never went away. It is activating so that all the old story and illnesses and things that you have brought about by your stories and your angst and your worries and traumas are meant to dissolve and be let go of. And it is something that is happening over time as the divine blueprint of your original soul self aligns. It will turn on and be activated. And eventually you'll find things just aren't the same. You don't have the same illnesses, or they are very mild now, or they are disappearing. So you'll find these things occurring. And maybe you have new sensitivities to things. However, you might not want to smell certain fragrances. You might not want to be eating certain foods. It's just something that will evolve as you find yourself shift because of your new connection to that template.
Wow. So a question about the continent called Antarctica. Will there be discoveries found under the ground once some of that ice melts and moves?
Yes, and there are already discoveries from your Google Earth, because you can see from the snow melt structures, and they're in the middle of nowhere. And these structures lead to, we'll say, areas where the beings who have been on this planet before you, they live. Many live underground in Antarctica, and Antarctica is a huge underground civilization.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just Antarctica. Many live underground. Many different ET races. They aren't ETs, but they're what you term ETs because they've been here from before you were created.
Sure.
So in that way, we have made agreements government-wise to be able to live in our untampered with, essentially, way while they are free to live theirs in their area of Antarctica. So therefore, it is a zone that is free from tampering, their zone, as we are as well. So, yeah.
Well, this might make sense because when I was visiting New Mexico, which of course, one of the biggest UFO hoax tried to hide everything, but there is a hum in Taos, New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And some say because it's an underground city, others say it is like a walkway to go from Taos, let's say, down to Santa Fe or whatever. So,
there are many gateways and portals on your Earth, and many of those portals and gateways can exhibit a hum, a vibration, a sound, whether they're in forests or whether they're just in certain areas of your towns and cities. They do exist. And when you are in those areas, if you did walk into those areas, you would find yourself somewhere else.
Wow. That's really cool. And it makes a lot of sense. Oh, Sally, in your yard, you have one. There you go. I wouldn't doubt it. I don't have any doubts about anything like that. By the way, there's a show, everybody, on Hulu called Paradise, and it's very good. You know how things happen and that predates what's coming? Well, this is because of a nuclear thing, or a climate change, but they had an underground city there they built for these people to go to. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, I have this question, and it's about the Vatican. It's about the Pope. Do we have any information on if this will be the last Pope, or what kind of mysteries are being hidden?
This will not be the last Pope.
Okay.
Many of the secrets under Vatican City will be revealed in time, but they are being leaked out by those who have been visitors in the past. Will there be a time when those vaults are exposed to the light of day? It will be a long time from now. But pay attention to those who have been visitors, who are providing information, for they are explaining what is the true treasure of the Vatican. Were these treasures out and about, humanity would have a big break in their level of understanding of their history. There are many secrets in the Vatican that would be opposite of what you have been taught, and that your history would have to be rewritten, and therefore those secrets are going to be hidden for a little bit longer. And as you have disclosure coming, some of that information will be given to you by the sources that explain human history.
I guess it's one of the biggest secrets of many secrets that are having. So Linda Kennedy, this is a very interesting thing. She said, I was asked during an Akashic reading if I was a tree in a prior life. I was not able to answer. I do not think it was possible, but didn't hear an answer. So could we have been trees in a past life? We're now a table. Yeah.
In answer to that question, many people actually believe that they were trees or dogs or cats.
Mm-hmm.
But in essence, your soul, the spark of God that you are, created those trees, created those other things that you have in your life, like the flowers and trees. They're a part of all that is, but they are not a soul level consciousness of the human being. We'll say it like that because you are on Earth. We would say it in a different way if we were speaking galactically. But just know that your conscious spark didn't go down into a tree and be in that cycle of a tree, because that would be closing off your growth for quite a while. It's not that the tree isn't a beautiful sentient being who has a very big enlightenment. It just has different consciousness evolution than you. And therefore, no, it is the most beneficial for your soul to have created growth going up in the cycle of your consciousness. That's not to say somebody come in and say, oh, I want to try and be a tree. Yes, they definitely could have decided to do that.
They
just
could
for
have,
art.
Yeah.
It is not impossible.
Mm-hmm.
But generally, this isn't something that someone would choose, because once you get in the cycle of incarnation of something, you stay in that cycle for a long time in your consciousness. In the consciousness of all that is, it's a split second. But for you, it feels like it's an eternity being a tree. So,
yeah, all you can do is just stand there, you know.
So anything that you perceive that is possible is possible. Is it the norm? Is it the average? Is it the usual pick? No, not necessarily.
So, yeah. Thank you, Linda. That's very interesting, though. Yeah. Sue asks about how we can connect to access light language. And then later, I just want to say, Sonia said she went off into light language and she couldn't understand it. And somebody said she was speaking in tongues. I think that's what the religious people call it. They call it speaking in tongues, but I believe that spiritual people call
different.
it light.
It's speaking in tongues is different than speaking light language. It's you're accessing something different. When you're getting a light language, generally speaking, you've been, for instance, I'm going to say it like this: you've had, say you've had a Reiki session and you opened up, and all of a sudden you're getting these downloads of it, and you feel like your voice is opening up, and you feel like you can't stop, and all these weird words come out. This kind of thing. Or you're in meditation and you're doing a big long meditation, and all of a sudden you're getting this activation and you feel it coming in. Because when I was getting it, I was feeling it over time. Like I had this strange impulse to say. And then finally, during a certain meditation, guided meditation, I just started, and my hands went up and I was doing certain symbols and all kinds of weird things, nothing I've ever seen before. And I go, oh, I got my light language.
And I don't know about JJ, but of course she did go to work with a shaman. Everybody's different, but she says she's going to need to stare at a wall for the rest of the day. Too much. And you know what? That's okay, JJ. I didn't. I'm going to try to turn on transcripts for these, because these are really important conversations, and they're really awesome. So thank you, everybody. Willow has a question, and then I think this is our last question, because we're right at the end of the hour here. But how do we set, or how do you set boundaries on what you're willing to channel?
Your boundaries are about your resonance, your frequency. And as you are preparing yourself to channel, which you could just say, have a telepathic communication with someone. You are surrounding yourself with beautiful white light. You are calling in all of your angels and guides, even though this is Earth school and we're saying we're all that. Yeah, you're still going to call in your guides and angels and beings of light, because that is you calling in the highest vibration of love and light. In fact, I say it like that, calling them in. I ask Archangel Michael to protect and guide me still to this day, even though we don't essentially need that. But that raises my vibration, for instance, and creates the foundation for calling in. I connect myself, I say the great central sun, and I bring in that source energy through my crown and anchor it into Mother Earth. You always anchor into Mother Earth because you need to bring down that higher frequency information into a grounded form of communication when you're going to talk. So channeling is like telepathy. You're going to hear a thought voice in your head, and the thought voice is going to be your own voice. And sometimes you hear it audio, through your ears in a different voice, but 99% of the time you're going to hear your own voice, and it's going to be the communication. The boundaries are from your setting your intention to open up to the highest frequency of light in the highest timeline for your highest good and the highest good of humanity. That surrounding yourself with light and being the light, bringing it in, is your intention, is your boundary. So now when you call in everything. I always go to the heart. I send light out from my heart all around the world. Then I go up to my crown and I call in whoever I want to talk to or ask, who'd like to step forward. You can be assured that that is going to be a high frequency. However, if you're just starting out and you have any kind of fear, that's going to knock you down a little bit in vibration. Just rest assured that as long as you follow those procedures and you know that whoever is speaking to you has nothing but love and beautiful information. There are cheerleaders. They're only going to say beautiful things to us. Nothing fear-based will come from a guide that is there for your highest good.
And they're not going to tell you what to do.
They never tell you what
to do.
You are your own guru. You have to figure it out on your own. They never tell you what to do. They never tell you many times.
They're not bossy. They're not bossy.
No, they're not bossy. For the most part, no.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, this was wonderful. And so thank you to Val for channeling through her Akashic Records Masters. Thank you for your comments and questions. And Tuda says, this is much more than the words you're speaking. The energy exchange is potent.
And I have to agree with you, JJ, because I am like, when you're in the Akashic field, that infinite field, you're just in heightened energy.
Yeah, a fire hose of info. I mean, I absolutely
light language is the same way. You listen to JJ or watch her, and you're
absolutely, and really, that's your Akashic Records Masters extraordinaire that come through you, and oh my goodness! But everybody can do this. Val, do you know have you got a date for your next Akashic Records class?
Maybe around August.
Okay.
Like that. Yeah.
Okay, because it's usually quarterly. Yeah. So yes, thank you so much, everybody, for being with us today. And I'm going to try my hand at this in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, what are we doing?
Yeah, and we'll be on Val's channel, and she'll be asking me some questions. So
yes, I will.
I don't know how good I'll be, but I don't care. This was amazing.
No. Are you kidding? You're great. You're great at it. Yeah.
It's wonderful. The information that came through today was really, really important for all of us. Oh, we'll do it again. We promise. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. You have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.
Bye.